We're going to start making the interior for our bathroom. So we're going to go back to our Blender file. We're going to tab into edit mode. We're going to press H to hide the door. We're going to select this face, and then we're going to select this face as well. So select the skinny face and this one as well. Then do Shift D to duplicate, right click to cancel. I'm going to change this to median point, and then we're going to do E to extrude, right click to cancel, and bring this up. For me, I'm going to bring it a little bit lower than this edge loop here, so that's probably going to be fine right there. Then we're going to want to go to the back and switch to edge select. We're going to select this edge and just bring it forward some so it's not sticking through, and that should be fine. We're going to do Control L and then do Shift H to hide everything else. We're going to switch to vertex select. We're going to select this vertex, Shift select this one, Alt M at last to merge them at the last vertex. Then we're going to select this one, Shift select this one, and you can do Shift R to repeat the merging process. Then we're going to do A twice. We're going to do Control N to recalculate the normals, Alt H to unhide everything, and we're going to switch to edge select, select an edge on the door, do Control L, then H to hide the door. We're going to do Control R, then left click and drag it in this direction a little bit, and that'll be alright. We're going to select this edge and we're going to pull it out some just to add some curvature here. We're going to do Control R, left click, right click, select this edge and bring it in some. Then we're going to Alt right click, then we're going to do Control B and do a bevel on this. Just try to keep even spacing between your quads here. Then we're going to do Control R, we're going to mouse wheel up once and left click, right click, and we're going to just bring these out some to add some further curvature. We're going to select this edge and I'm going to snap it to this point on the y-axis. So grab it on the y-axis and snap it to that point there. And if you want to, you can do Control L, Shift H, and take a look at this in top view by pressing 7 and just make sure you have a nice smooth curve. I might want to bring this back slightly on mine, and that's going to be fine. So I'm going to do Alt H to unhide this. I'm going to select this again, Control L, and then H to hide it. We're going to do Control R and left click and bring this up. You want to bring this up fairly close to the top of this, and that's going to be alright. So we're going to do Control L, we're going to do Shift H to hide everything else. We're going to switch to face select, and we're going to select all the faces around here. And then you also want to select this face and these faces here, then do delete and choose faces, switch to edge select, select this edge on the end and then press F a bunch of times and that will fill in those faces there. Then we're going to do Control R, we're going to left click and drag this up to about here, and we're going to switch to face select. We're going to do Alt H to unhide everything, select the door again, Control L, H to hide it. And we want to select these three faces here that are inside where this curve is. So you want these bottom three faces. And we're going to do E to extrude, right click to cancel, and bring it out on the y-axis. Then we're going to do S and then Y and then 0 to scale it to 0 on the y-axis. So it's a flat surface now. And now we can bring it out on the y-axis, and you can even snap it to one of these points if you want to. Just grab it on the y-axis, hold Control, and snap it there. That should be fine. And then just bring it in slightly so that it's not hiding or it's not sticking out there. You can even delete these faces if you want just by doing delete and choosing faces. Now we're going to do Control R, we're going to left click and right click. We're going to do Control L and then Shift H to hide everything else. We're going to go over here, we're going to select this edge and we're just going to bring it out some to give some curvature to this part. Then we're going to switch to face select and we're going to select these four faces. We're going to do I to do an inset and just do a small inset. We're going to need an add-on for this, so we're going to go to File and we're going to go to User Preferences. You're going to go to Add-on, left click on the search box, type in Loop, and then left click on this here and that will enable Loop Tools, and then just close this. Then you can do W, hover over Loop Tools, and choose the circle option. So we're going to make a circle out of this. Then we're going to do S to scale this down, and then we're going to bring it back slightly. You can also do R then Z and rotate it a bit if you want to, but I think I'm just going to leave it the way it is. So once we have that, we're going to switch to vertex select and we're going to select these vertices. We're going to do S and then X and scale this out on the x-axis. Then we're going to take these two and do S and then X again and just make it a little bit more circular on the ends. That should be fine. You can also do that again if you want to make this a little bigger. This is going to be the basin for where you're going to wash your hands, so just try to shape it in a shape that you think is correct. You can also scale these in on the y-axis a little bit, but I think I'm just going to leave it like that. Once you're happy with the shape, you're going to select these 4 faces. So go to Face Select, select these 4 faces. You're going to do I to do an inset and do a small inset. Then you're going to do E to extrude, right click to cancel and bring this down. Then S to scale this in some. Another thing I forgot to do earlier was to do S and then Z and then 0 and press enter just to make sure this is flat on the Z axis. We're going to alt right click here, do S, Z, and 0 here as well, and press enter. Just to be sure, we're going to grab it on the Z axis, hold control, and snap it to one of these points, so we know that this surface is completely flat. Then we're going to switch to vertex select, select this vertex, and bring it downward. This will be the center of our basin. Next, we're going to create our toilet seat, so we're going to do Shift S and cursor to center to put our cursor in the center of the Blender world. Then we're going to go to create and we're going to choose circle and we're going to change the vertex count to 12 and press enter. We're going to press P and then choose selection, tab into object mode, select this object and remove this modifier. We're going to tab into edit mode and we're going to delete this side of the vertices. So select this vertex, hold control, select this one, do delete and choose vertices. Add modifier, choose mirror, disable the x-axis, enable the y-axis. Turn on clipping and turn on this option. So we're going to take this vertex, we're going to grab it on the x-axis, hold control and snap it there. Then we're going to bring it in a bit on the y-axis just to make it a little bit smaller. Then we're going to take these 3 and we're going to bring them in as well. Just go until you have more of a toilet seat shape. Then we can go ahead and go to object mode and apply this modifier. Then we can hold shift and select this and do Control J to join them together. Tab into edit mode, alt right click here just to make sure it's the only thing selected, and we'll bring it over. We'll scale it down with S and just bring it over again. If you want to, go to top view with 7 on the number pad, scale it down, and you can use G to position it a little bit better. So I'm going to scale mine to be a little bit smaller. I'm going to bring it over. That's probably going to be alright. Then we're going to bring it up on the Z axis, of course. And we're going to snap it to this point here, or any of these points right there. I'm probably going to scale mine down just a little bit more and then bring it back a little bit. Once you have everything positioned, you're going to press F to make a face. You're going to do E to extrude, right click to cancel, and bring this up slightly. Then we're going to do I to do an inset and do a decent size inset. And then we're going to press delete and choose faces. Then we're going to switch to face select. We're going to alt right click here. We're going to do Shift E to duplicate, right click to cancel. We're going to bring this up slightly. This will be the pad where you sit. And we'll do E to extrude, right click to cancel, and just give this pad some width here, some thickness. Then we'll do Shift D to duplicate, right click to cancel one more time, and we'll bring this up slightly. Then we'll switch to vertex select. We're going to alt right click on this set of vertices. We're going to bring it up slightly. And now we're going to want to fill this in. So we're going to do Control L and then Shift H to hide everything else. We're going to select these 4 and press F, then select these 2 and continue pressing F until you've filled this all in. We're going to do Alt H, switch to face select, select this face, Control L and then H to hide the door again. So now we have our nice toilet seat. We're going to switch to vertex select. We're going to go to this bottom set of vertices. We're going to alt right click, E to extrude, right click to cancel, and bring this down. It kind of had this part on the picture I was using for a reference, so I'm going to try to make it similar here. So we're just going to bring this down on the Z axis and then scale it in a bit until you're happy. It kind of had something similar to this on the picture I was looking at. Then we're going to do E to extrude, right click to cancel, and bring this down a little bit. And then we're going to do S to scale it in just until the vertices are hidden. This is a good place to stop, so we're just going to go to File and Save. Thank you to our awesome Patreon supporters: If you'd like to become a Patreon supporter yourself, head on over to patreon.com/StephenBrooks. Thank you for your support.